But for now, we're going to try and protect our borders. How do I build a faith building? Well, right now I can't because I have no faith. But in cities with the majority religion, it comes up in buildings. For 450 faith, the amount of faith you need goes up based upon what era you are in. But for 450 faith right now, I could get 2 culture, 2 faith, and each tile of incense and wine produces another faith and another culture. Or indeed, a faith and another culture if we hadn't picked the Pantheon. So that would make these tiles even better than they already are. Makes them very good tiles indeed. But we're not going to dwell too much on that right now because we don't need to. Instead, we're checking for barbs. If I was to guess, I would assume due to the fact that Shaka has Stonehenge, he'll be second to a religion, but I might be entirely wrong on that front. There's no way of really knowing until it happens. Is that encampment still there? Indeed it is. We're going to collect it for the money so that we can upgrade our archer. That is now improved, ready for when we get Petra, if indeed we do. And what we're going to do now is improve some more tiles. We're going to try and stop our wheat farm there from being burgled by barbarian overlords or underlords. They think they're overlords. Trust me, they're not. They're very, very weak in this game. It's one thing I actually don't like in Civilization 5. I think the barbarians are too weak. Not physically, because in a battle they'll still be pretty handy on the higher difficulties. But in Civ 4, they could produce cities of their own, not just encampments, actual big, fully fledged cities. And if you left them long enough, they would start, you know, researching technologies of their own, doing their own city building, producing workers. They would do all that themselves rather than just steal them and run away with them pettily like we do in this game.
A horse.
My kingdom for a horse. Indeed. We got horseback riding. I don't like it very much, but the reason I've gone this route so early is because of the Ducal stable. That's our unique building. It's a stable that we don't have to use any maintenance on at all for gold. It gives extra production and extra experience for mounted units, and each pasture in the city gets a tile improvement of 1 gold, 1 hammer. That is very nice. Obviously that will vary on how nice based upon how many pastures you've got, and as you can see, horses produce a pasture, I believe cows produce a pasture, sheep produce a pasture, deer do not. I believe they produce a camp. Let's check for us. Let's put in a pasture and let's type and shake the thing about. Yeah, it improves those 3 tile resources. Now unfortunately, we don't really have that many of those about. So we're not going to be able to utilise our unit building quite as much as I would have hoped we could, but never mind, what can you do? We can improve the horses, but we don't have much of the other 2, so let's not worry too much about it. We can adopt a policy though. We can get meritocracy, which will give us a happiness because we have a city connection. It will give us a bit less unhappiness from cities because all of our cities are non-occupied. And by completing the Liberty Tree, we could also get a free great person. We could open the Piety Tree, but no, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is finish this off. Our happiness has gone up. We get a great person of our choice for free, and I almost always, and I am in this case too, going to pick a scientist. So we've got Gottfried Leibniz. Don't really recognise the name, I'm sorry, I'm not into that. So, where are we going to place it? Well, I'll be honest, it doesn't really matter too much. But we're going to put it around Warsaw because Warsaw is probably going to be our biggest science producing city. The question though is, where do we put it? Well, what we don't want to do is plonk it by the river. Why? Because we want to put our farms there. It'll be the most efficient way of doing it. So what I'm thinking about putting it here. The game itself is actually recommending putting it here, but I actually think that might be the best tile choice. Putting it to 1 tile to the west of there is also a good choice. Arguably, putting it 2 tiles to the northwest of Warsaw is a good choice as well. I think we'll actually do that. Because if we end up putting a city up here, where the fish and the deer are, we can share the tile. Nobody else appears to have built a 4th city yet. And obviously Venice can't build cities, so he probably hasn't found a city-state. What are these units doing floating about? Oh! Oh, he might be attacking us, so what we're going to do is quickly run away, especially because there's a horse there. Frustrating, because I want the gold, but... Is Shaka about to attack us? Now that would be a turn up for the books. Not, it's pretty predictable, but... Luckily we've seen it early enough that we might be able to get our units back fully in time. He does have spears though, which we don't. Can you please befriend us yet?
Salve.
No.
In keep, eh?
And unfortunately he hasn't got any gold per turn, or any resources that we don't have, so that's a bit of a shame. Huh. Well, there's no trade we can do to make our situation any better, so we're just going to leave it as it is. Going to get this down, make sure that we don't get our great person destroyed. We're not going to work it right this second though, because it'll take us far too long even if we do. Just for sake of argument, do this. Sure, we got... Oh, that's actually quite a lot of turn difference. Okay, we will do that. We've sacrificed 3 gold, a faith and a culture for 8 science. As it happens, that's actually quite a good deal. However, what we are going to do is click show queue and add to the queue what do we want to build? Unfortunately, composite bows take 14, so we'll build a spear. And then what we have to do is not that, but change the order. We want to build the spear first. Because that might just help us protect against Shaka, who unfortunately now has put all of his units on the land, which means we've got an ambushed archer. So we're going to have to be very careful how we tread to get that back. And unfortunately, the horse is deciding to follow us. Krakow got 4 population. We don't really want to work that. We want to work a production tile. I don't mind it stagnating yet, I just really want to get Petra built. It's not an improved tile, which sucks, but we are going to go out and improve it now as quickly as we can. Sure, getting those extra horses would be nice, but A, we can't work the tile. And B, odds are it'll probably just get pillaged anyway. Oh, there's an encampment there, good job I noticed. How do we want to get back? Oh, come on! Really? There's another encampment there? Note to self. Get spears quickly. I believe one of those horses may have attacked us. Indeed it did. So get that one to run away. We'll quickly put this in place, so hopefully it will sponge the hit from the horse. Yeah, the other warrior is now safe, so long as there's not a hidden barbarian encampment in that little gap of darkness where the iron is. I don't think there will be, though. Oh, the horse didn't attack because it just kind of wandered around as lazily. It may just be that Shaka has a lot of units out to take out that encampment, but we don't want to risk it, frankly. We obviously don't want to risk it. Religion founded. It was Venice. That's not quite so bad, because Venice obviously can only produce one city himself. He can spread it to city-states, but not... he won't spread it to me, because I've got a religion. Likewise, I won't spread it to him, because I'll anger him. Just out of curiosity, what did he get in his religion? Religion overview. Oh, he's got... mosques is something that I would arguably choose. That's quite nice. He did go for pilgrimage. And his pantheon is culture based. So that's not a particularly brilliant... it's an alright religion, but not a brilliant one. Had it been my choice, I would have hopefully got him to not pick a religious building based one, but what can you do? We're going to plonk our archer into Warsaw because that will protect our city a bit. I'm certain he's going after us, it's just being precautionary. Excuse me. We're going to put it in Krakow because it will heal 25 HP a turn rather than the standard 20. But we're going to have to run away with this boy because I'm definitely going to need it to protect my cities with, I'm almost certain. Where's he gone? Out to sea. What I'm going to do is start chopping forest. Now what that will do is give us more production without really having to put much effort in. I'm going to put that there to try and prevent the horse from getting into my territory because I don't want it to start just destroying all the tile improvements again. See, if we click chop down a forest, the forest gets removed and it produces 60 production for Warsaw. The amount varies based upon how far the forest is from the city. It's about efficiency. So if I was to chop this all the way over here, this random one near the marble, that would barely give any production at all because it takes so long and so much work to get the timber back to the city. But if we chop this here, we get 60 production, so that is very good. We're going to attack that actually just to slow it down a bit. Because I think we've got enough time to produce some units, so if Shaka does indeed attack us, we're not in too bad a shape. We're going to do that. And now that horse is pretty much knackered. The only downside to Venice being on my border on the other side is that there's a lot of empty space between us, which means a lot of barbarian location. Got a spear. We're going to continue building the rest of our market now we feel a bit more secure about ourselves. I'm not going to attack that in case there's a barbarian hidden behind, and then I'll be completely isolated and get my unit destroyed. It does look though that Shaka's not actually going after us, which is bizarre because normally when the AI spawns units en masse, that's entirely what they're doing. They're attacking usually the player, but somebody. He's still got a unit there, but he's taking damage. Whatever from? Anyway, we've got enough units out here, so even if Shaka did attack us, we would be able to deflect him. What I'm actually going to do is send this spear back to take out those horse encampments because it's perfectly suited for that job. Spears love horses. They absolutely skewer them. They get a 50% bonus. And spears being power 11 even before the bonus makes them a more than a match. And that horseman killed itself attacking my warrior. That's kind of funny. Very funny, in fact. Okay, we're going to go this way because we're going to try and utilise our road to get to places more quickly. We're going to leave that warrior out there just so I can see what barbs are coming near. He's still there. I'm starting to worry that he actually is coming to attack us and I'm not paying enough mind to him, but we'll see in time, we'll see in time. I don't really think... Well, I don't actually know what he's doing. I'm not entirely sure, but nevertheless, we'll be fine. There we go, we'll go up this way. I'm kind of checking if there are any encampments down here at the same time. I'm certain he wants to attack us. I'm certain. Really, that didn't kill him? Really? But I don't want to get back attacked by other barbarians at the same time. So I need to really crack on. Now, chopping that forest knocked 3 turns off the amount of time it would take to build our market. Which is great. That's very important to us. We got some gold. We now can upgrade our archer without having to wait any longer, frankly. What we're going to do though now is go over here and chop some forest near Krakow because we want to get Petra built more quickly. And I'm kind of getting a bit worried that we might get beaten to it otherwise. And obviously, as I have said, probably 3 or 4 times by now, if we get beaten to Petra, it's a bit of a disaster. We'll upgrade. We've got a composite bow. Notice how the ranged attack and the strength are so much higher. The composite bow can take a warrior on in direct combat, so it's definitely a big improvement. There we go. And a bit of phlegm in the system.